Pranitha Subhash now joins me on India Today. Pranitha, it's a billion-strong country, 80% Hindus, and yet you felt the need to put out a poster, Hindu Lives Matter. Why?
Absolutely. Just like you said, I'm really shocked that us living in a Hindu majoritarian country, and today I have to defend my own dharma. If this happens somewhere in Kashmir, which is a Hindu minority state where there's militancy and terrorism, I can at least console myself thinking this is a byproduct of all of it. But this incident has happened in Udaipur, in a state like Rajasthan, which is Hindu majoritarian, and where most people have voted for BJP in the past as well. So it's really, really shocking that an incident like this has happened in broad daylight. And this was just to prove a point. And this is not the first time, whether it is the Palgar Sadhus, whether it was Kishan Bharwa in the past, or whether now it's Kanhaiaya Lal. It's just absolutely shocking, and I think that now the need has come that we have to stand up for this. Otherwise,
Okay.
where will all this end? Is there an end to all of this, all this hate crime?
Is this your fear that it is only, God forbid, likely to escalate? And is this your contention that in our country, in a Hindu majority country, as you say, Hindu lives don't matter?
Absolutely. This incident just goes to prove that Hindus can't even have an agency. And at the end of the day, I was just speaking about our own community, which went through several hate crimes. And as you said, this should not be the end of it. Now let's be very clear about this, Gaurav. This was actually done because of the tailor's support to Nupur Sharma. And without going into the politics of it, I can tell you that this was because an alleged blasphemy was committed. So if this is the way they're going to solve a problem, if this is how they're going to tell everyone that, this is how they're going to prove a point to everyone.
So you fear that this is actually show of strength, that any issue that needs to be settled has to be settled in courts of law in a democracy. Is that the point you're making? Are you apprehensive, or is this your contention that outrage, I mean there's selective outrage in our country, people react sometimes and they choose to bury some incidents under the carpet? Is that your apprehension?
Absolutely. So, you know, on one hand, we have Hindus who are extremely tolerant. When people make fun of the Shivling, there's someone who made a meme out of a satellite and compared it to a Shivling and a nuclear reactor. And this person was awarded with Excellence in Journalism Award. And on the other hand, someone just questions all of this, and to prove a point, they're murdered. The supporters of this person is murdered. They haven't even committed blasphemy. So it just shocks me as to how tolerant we are, and yet how intolerant all the other dharmas are.
That's a point that the country needs to grapple with, because those images that were broadcast across the country, and that was, you know, the way these killers, they not only killed Kanhaiaya Lal, they filmed it, they bragged about it, and they shared it on social media. And you say this will haunt you, and then in that social media, in that tweet of yours, you ask, will it?
Or will it
haunt? Why do you say that? Why do you feel that?
Because as we have seen in the past, whether it's the Palgar lynchings, whether it was Kishan Bharwa, I've seen how Twitter just gets enraged. There's a hashtag that's trending for about 24, 48 hours. All the who's who of BJP and come out in support of it. And then what? And then there's no solution to it. It just the incident just dies down, and days later, again it surfaces with a murder of somebody else who's innocent. And this should not continue. And I think that today time has come that us Hindus, we really need to stand up for ourselves. Time has come that we need to defend our own dharma. And it's really, really sad that in my own country, just for the sake of us practicing our own dharma, you have to stand up and defend yourself. That's really sad.
in a democracy, in a secular democracy, you are saying that Hindus have to stand up for themselves despite being 80% of the population. And you've also asked, is anyone listening? Why do you think that if there is this cry that goes out from you, why do you think no one's listening?
Because I feel that us, our dharma has been known to be tolerant, has been known to be peaceful, has been known to not take violence as a route. However, I don't see that coming from anywhere else. Like what has happened now is just the most heinous, violent crime ever that I've seen, and I think that the video is absolutely shocking. So I had to say, is anyone listening? Because I really need attention for this campaign, which is Hindu Lives Matter.
And you intend to make this into a campaign that Hindu lives matter. Is this just domestically or is this actually globally? Because is this also your fear that when somebody from any other religion is targeted, there is global outrage, but the moment a Hindu is killed in our own country, there is selective silence or people turn a blind eye to it?
Absolutely. I think you spoke for me with this question because especially as I've always said through this interview, how tolerant and peaceful we are. It's often seen that a hate crime happens and unfortunately somebody who's innocent is the victim and these things just get brushed under the carpet and then people move on. But I've seen how since 2014 there's been a huge change. People have been voicing out and they're not scared to come out now in support of something like this. I think if it was a few years ago, people were scared to come out in support of something like this, fearing a result like this for themselves. But today, I think if we don't stand up, I think we will end up going into a minority. And to prevent that, I think all of us need to come out. It's not just about a hashtag, it's not just about a campaign, it's about let people out there know that it does matter. Because if somebody is going to just kill somebody to prove a point, to just prove how they shouldn't question something outside of our religion, I think it really, really disturbs me how where we stand today.
Pranitha, in the prime of your career, you come up with something like Hindu Lives Matter. Now, there is a section in the film Fraternity who may boycott you, who may isolate you, who may treat you as a pariah. Are you not scared?
Well, I think everything comes with its own pros and cons, and as you said, yes, I do see that in the industry, most people are leaning towards the left and they do not believe in the same ideologies that I do. But I think ideology does not really, it's not just one aspect of my life. I think it really takes over and encompasses a lot of aspects. So if it is going to affect a certain part of my career, there's not much I can do about it. But I would think that I would just want people to look through it, look through my eyes, whether it is nationalism or just protecting my dharma. These are the only two things that I do using my voice as an actress. So, but it's also, there is something that I have to mention here, that there's so many actors, directors, producers out there who do believe in the same ideology that I do. And there's so many films also that are coming out with a similar thought process. So I don't see myself being lost either.
You don't see yourself being lost because many, or at least some fear that in case they speak up for what is right and goes against the ideology of some who may want to control the narrative, they will get isolated, they will get blocked out, they will be eliminated, from the workspace. That's not your fear.
That's not my fear. Like I said, there is pros and cons to everything, and if this is a small price that I have to pay for standing up for my dharma, then so be it. That's what I would think. And like I said, there is a section that does believe in the same ideology that I do, and there's so many films of late, if you see, they're nationalistic in nature, trying to promote dharma as well, and they're trying to promote non-violence and everything that our dharma stands for. So if there is a section, then I would rather go with that section of the industry.
Okay. how do you intend taking this campaign forward? So yes, you've come up with this picture, Hindu Lives Matter, and we are putting it out, especially at a time when Kanhaiaya Lal was beheaded by radical Islamists. They filmed it, they captured it on camera and broadcast it to the world. And you have, before that, it came to such a pass because hundreds had taken to the streets saying Sar Tan se juda, and little or no action was taken against them. So how do you intend to take your campaign forward?
So first of all, the one thing that I have seen is any incident, I think it's really important to bring it to light. It's really important to give it the importance that it needs, because by doing that, I think there's a lot of pressure and a lot of attention a certain incident gets, and I believe that this will speed up justice. That's the first step, I think. And if we achieve that, that's something that I would think that I've been a part of the success of that. But nevertheless, I think that we have to really, the idea that we are a strong community and we won't take things lightly is something that I want to promote through this. And I do see a lot of people coming in support of this. And let's see how it goes. I mean, there's no way we can bring back the lives of those who we've lost. But I still think that justice is something that we can get, and a little pressure because of all the attention that, whether it's from the media, whether it's from politicians, whether it's from anybody with a voice, I think will really help.
Okay, but are you disappointed that a lot of other celebrities, they haven't come forward, that the people who, and rightfully so, people who've taken a knee for Black Lives Matter, and they indeed do, are silent right now? All lives matter, Hindu lives matter too, and yet this silence.
Absolutely. So in fact, I remember a few years ago when Black Lives Matter was trending, it was quite strange that we had a lot of celebrities from India, especially Bollywood, tweeting away, posting things on their Instagram how Black Lives Matter, and there's somebody right in your own country who's faced injustice, who has died for no reason. All they did was support somebody who probably questioned somebody. This whole thing seems so, it just shocks me that, the irony just shocks me that there's nobody who's coming in support of somebody from your own country, from your own dharma, who's had injustice. And it just pains when I see the videos of his family, Kanhaiya's family, and what they're going through right now. And the least we can do is probably give him justice.
For joining me here on India Today, Pranitha Subhash, many thanks. You're saying you're standing up for your dharma. You're standing up for dharma. Dharma actually means nyay or justice, and it's dharmo rakshiti rakshita. You protect religion or you protect justice, justice will protect you. For joining me here on India Today, many thanks.